Anna Kendrick just dropped a bombshell that's shaking up Hollywood. She's calling out Blake Lively in a way that has fans reeling.
Do you block people ever?
No, I've muted some people. Now that it's a function on Twitter and Instagram, there's a couple people that I have muted.
Good.
Yeah. Blake Lively.
If you thought the drama between these two was behind closed doors, think again. Before we jump in, make sure you hit that subscribe button because you don't want to miss any of the jaw-dropping details we're about to reveal. At a recent premiere for Another Simple Favor, the tension between Anna and Blake was palpable. In one moment, Anna's body language spoke volumes, a subtle, icy glance that said everything without uttering a word. Meanwhile, Blake's response came off as forced praise, as if she were reciting lines from a script rather than speaking from the heart.
For me, yeah, I sort of struggled with that because I've sometimes judged her for being so confident.
In conversations with fans, Anna's tone hinted at deeper animosity. Her casual comment about muting Blake on social media wasn't just a joke. It was a declaration of war. This wasn't a one-off event. The awkward energy, the fumbled compliments, and the noticeable discomfort from everyone around told a clear story. Something was very off between these two stars. But that wasn't the first time the tension boiled over. Digging deeper, the roots of this feud trace back to the filming of the original A Simple Favor in 2018. Behind the glitz and glamour, insiders now reveal that what began as a cordial working relationship quickly spiraled into a full-blown clash. According to on-set reports, Blake's behavior started to shift almost immediately. She began to exhibit diva-like tendencies that made even the most seasoned crew members uneasy. Rumor has it that Blake was not only jealous of Anna's more relaxed schedule, but was also openly resentful of the extra attention she received. As filming progressed, the atmosphere on set turned frosty. The friendly banter that once characterized the early days of shooting gave way to tense exchanges and passive-aggressive remarks that left everyone wondering when the spark of rivalry would ignite into a blazing conflict. But what looked like petty on-set tension was, in fact, the opening act of a much larger drama. Once the cameras stopped rolling, the backstage drama escalated into actions that would later make headlines. Anonymous insiders have claimed that Blake went so far as to try and undermine Anna's position in the sequel. Imagine this. While the studio expected the duo to ride the wave of camaraderie into a promotional blitz, behind the scenes, power plays were unfolding. Anna, aware of the unfair treatment, pushed for better placement in marketing materials. She even took it upon herself to ensure that her role wasn't overshadowed by Blake's constant demands for attention. There are whispers of a covert battle for control, with reports suggesting that Anna may have used creative tactics, like suggesting subtle edits to promo posters to reclaim her spotlight. In a world where every inch of screen time matters, these behind-the-scenes moves were not just about personal pride, but about protecting one's career. And if you thought the sneaky maneuvers stopped there, you're in for the next twist. The feud took a tangible form with the promotional posters for Another Simple Favor. Traditionally, posters are a battleground for establishing dominance, and here it was no different. Initially, Anna's name appeared in the prime position, a nod to her role and popularity. But in a sudden reversal, Blake's camp fought hard to reconfigure the billing. The final compromise, a staggered billing where Anna's name still led but Blake's was positioned just a little higher on the right, might seem trivial to an outsider. However, in Hollywood, every detail counts. That slight elevation wasn't just a design choice. It was interpreted as a subtle power move, a final flex of dominance from Blake's side. This minor tweak on a poster was enough to ignite a storm among fans, who saw it as a behind-the-scenes reminder of the ongoing battle for supremacy. And yet, for all the public posturing, it was clear that the real war was being waged far from the cameras. As whispers grew louder, the true nature of the on-set dynamics began to surface. A former assistant director who worked closely on the film eventually broke their silence. In a series of now viral social media posts, later deleted of course, this insider described an environment steeped in tension and emotional abuse. The assistant revealed that Blake's behavior wasn't isolated to a few flippant remarks. It was a pattern of consistent, harsh treatment that left several crew members feeling demoralized. One particularly striking account described how an assistant was pushed to the brink, ultimately choosing to quit because of what many are calling mean girl energy. The fallout was immediate. Crew members began to speak out about unfair practices, and a once-silenced narrative quickly gained traction online. Hannah's earlier hints and cryptic jabs now seemed to carry even more weight. The studio was forced to confront the possibility that the entire production had been tainted by an environment of bullying and favoritism. And as the details emerged, it became impossible to ignore the clear power imbalance on set. But Anna wasn't about to stay silent forever. If the workplace drama wasn't enough to capture attention, Anna's public responses have been nothing short of a masterclass in subtle defiance. At events and on red carpets, she has managed to deliver perfectly calibrated remarks that both acknowledge the tension and deftly avoid direct confrontation. When asked about her experience, Anna's response was casual, yet pointed. A quip about having to mute certain voices on social media, a veiled reference that fans immediately connected with the on-set issues. Her tone, delivered with a mix of sarcasm and cool detachment, resonated with viewers who had long suspected that her silence was a strategic shield. Anna's BAFTA speech, ostensibly about the challenges of the film industry, was peppered with hints at the toxic behavior she refuses to tolerate. Though she never named names, her words were enough to spark countless discussions online. Each carefully chosen phrase built a picture of a woman who, despite the pressures of Hollywood, has decided that enough is enough. But just when you thought the layers of this feud couldn't get any thicker, enter another major element, the Justin Baldoni factor. While the drama between Anna and Blake was already a full-blown spectacle, a new player entered the scene, Justin Baldoni. Known for his own share of headline-making controversies, Justin's involvement added another explosive dimension to the narrative. Sources close to the production have revealed that Blake's legal and personal issues with Baldoni have been a constant source of distraction, further complicating her on-screen performance and off-screen demeanor. For Anna, this meant an even greater need to distance herself from the toxic mix. With media attention intensifying over every whispered rumor, Anna made it clear that she was not willing to have her reputation or the success of her film jeopardized by someone else's drama. It wasn't just about protecting her own career, it was about setting a standard for professionalism and respect on set. As the news broke and fans debated the implications, it became evident that the ripple effects of these behind-the-scenes conflicts were reaching far beyond just the two leads. And as if all this wasn't enough, the public backlash and long-term career implications were just beginning to unfold. In today's era of social media accountability, every misstep is magnified, and Blake Lively is feeling the heat. As details of her behavior on set and in her personal life continue to emerge, long-buried controversies have resurfaced. From a past that includes questionable decisions at her plantation wedding to accusations of racially insensitive behavior, fans are not holding back. Social media is buzzing with calls for accountability. Some are even urging a boycott of her upcoming films. Meanwhile, Anna's measured stance and clear vision for a respectful working environment have painted her in the role of both the victim and the potential savior of the project. The notion that a film's success might hinge on Anna's ability to rise above the on-set chaos has become a recurring theme in fan discussions. As critics analyze every interview and every promotional still, the industry is left to ponder. Can one star's insistence on decency counteract years of unaddressed behavior? The backlash is real, and it's reshaping careers in real time. When it comes to promoting a blockbuster, every public appearance, every interview, and every social media post becomes a piece of the puzzle. For Anna, the decision to distance herself from Blake was as much a strategic move as it was a moral stand. At press events, while Blake's responses often came off as rehearsed and contrived, Anna's interactions were refreshingly candid. She didn't mince words when it came to addressing the need for respect on set. In one memorable appearance, her subtle quip about needing to mute negative energy was met with roaring approval from fans, a stark contrast to the forced smiles and vague assurances offered by Blake. Behind closed doors, this difference in approach sparked intense debates among industry insiders, with many suggesting that Anna's willingness to be authentic could pave the way for a broader shift in how on-set dynamics are managed. The promotional period became a battleground where every remark, every gesture, and every billing decision was scrutinized for signs of underlying conflict. And as the movie's release drew near, it was clear that the stakes were higher than ever. Now that we've unpacked the layers of on-set tension, backstage power plays, and public backlash, the big question remains. What does this mean for the future of these two stars, for Blake Lively, The mounting controversies and repeated allegations of unprofessional behavior are a double-edged sword. While her star power remains undeniable, the long-term effects of this feud may well jeopardize future projects, tarnish her reputation, and impact box office numbers. Meanwhile, Anna Kendrick's bold stance is resonating with a public tired of scripted, sanitized Hollywood narratives. Her insistence on respect and authenticity is not just winning over fans. It's setting a precedent that might force the industry to reevaluate how it handles power dynamics behind the scenes. In the end, this isn't just about two celebrities at odds. It's about a shifting culture in Hollywood where transparency and accountability are becoming non-negotiable. As the drama continues to unfold, viewers are left to wonder, will Anna's approach spark real change, or will the old ways of power, plays and backroom deals continue to dominate? It's a high-stakes game where every move matters, and the fallout from this feud could have ripple effects across the industry for years to come. So, what do you think? Is Anna Kendrick finally standing up for herself and setting a new standard in Hollywood? Or is all of this just another calculated move in a long history of on-set drama? With every twist and turn, the lines between personal vendettas and professional rivalries blur, leaving us with more questions than answers. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe this feud is a turning point for the industry? Or is it just another chapter in the endless saga of celebrity conflicts? And if you're as hooked as we are on the drama behind the scenes, make sure to subscribe and click the bell icon to stay updated on every development. In our next video, we'll delve into another explosive Hollywood story, one that promises even more intrigue, power plays, and jaw-dropping revelations. Until then, keep your eyes peeled and your opinions ready. After all, in a world where every secret is just waiting to be exposed, you never know what might come next.